Hello everyone, it's Sandra here, and this is my leaf mold only as a bedding worm bin. I've pulled out probably 600 to 800 worms from this system in several baiting operations and fed them to peekaboo. And so I'm ashamed to say I'm looking in on this bin for the first time in several weeks and just seeing what's up. Like, are there still worms in here? I assume so. Are there cocoons in here that are hatching? I assume so. But let's dig down and see what we find. You can see the big sticks and whatnot left over in the leaf mold. This leaf mold wasn't fully processed, and this bin was getting regular food, so there's probably avocado peels and things left over in it. But I just want to make a run through this bin. There's a very large stick, in fact, to see what's going on. And, I know there'll be worms in here. How many worms are in here? And how much food should I give them? I haven't fed them for weeks. So this material is still very moist. Obviously, it's turned the corner from leaf mold into castings. And there are worms. There's at least a couple of them. There's an avocado pit. That's still not opening. Interesting. Sitting on the bottom of a very moist worm bin. There's smaller worms, so we've got babies in here, which is good. There's another avocado. Let me see if I can open that. That would be food for them. Yeah, that one's going to open there. So that'll give them a bit of food. And I'll also feed these worms. I feel terrible that I haven't come in here to feed them. I was going to do another baiting operation, so I wanted to make sure they were nice and hungry. And then I'm afraid I just moved on to other things. Knowing that this is rich leaf mold bedding and they are not starved for microbes in this bin at all to munch on. See this other avocado, is it going to open? Almost. Interesting that the avocados aren't opening quickly in the bottom of this very moist bin. So there's a corn cob. No activity that I can see on the outside of the corn cob. Should we break it open? If I press it against the side of the bin, maybe. There it is. That's actually a worm on the outside, not a worm on the inside. But they'll get into it now. So that's more food for them. So let's check this side. This actually was the side that I was doing my baiting operations. So if there was food left over from the baiting, it will be in this area. Sometimes, when you bait, food will leak out of the baiting container. So I am seeing worms, and just let me see if I can grab that worm. He's a little guy, so he obviously has just hatched in here. But beautiful color. Can you see that lovely color on that worm? It's absolutely beautiful. All right. Let me just turn this over. So I can probably see another couple hundred worms in here. I don't know what your estimate would be, but my guess is probably at least a couple hundred. I'm seeing babies, which means cocoons are hatching. But as long as there are adults in here, I will be getting more cocoons. And that's not what I want. I want these castings to finish now, and I want these worms to come out of here. So I've got some ideas on how to get the worms out of here, but I have some food left over from my regular feedings of some other bins, and I saw this sitting here, and I went, I need to go in here and give it some food and not mess around with saying wait until I'm ready anymore. So I'll just, I'm just going to form a trench down the middle. Bury this food nice and deep in these castings. I'm not going to add any more leaf mold. I don't want any more bedding introduced into here. So I'll just take this food, dump it in the trench. And so, yes, I could come back and just grab the worms in the trench, but I actually want to do an experiment to trap the worms out of here. So I'm just going to leave that as is, and they're good to go for another couple of weeks if I don't get around to my other experiment. All right, so that was my leaf mold as bedding worm bin. Now more than ready to be harvested, and the worms moved on to Peekaboo, their new home. All right, everyone, take care.